Man, look, they don't even know who I am yet, right? But they gotta learn. They gotta learn.
Welcome to the first episode of the Comic Creators After Hours podcast, put on by this gentleman right here, Mr. Darren Sanchez.
We've been doing podcasts a long time, but I've never done a podcast that was after hours. That was my podcast. Those of you who were with us when we were here in November, we were in Casablanca, and we were on Comic Book School, which is Buddy Scalera's podcast. So shout out to Buddy and to Comic Book School.
Absolutely.
But now we're doing After Hours, Comics After Hours, and we have an amazing guest lined up today.
Yes, indeed.
Mark Millar. Some of you may have heard of him. He's done many projects that you know, and you'll learn about a lot of them that you don't know.
Absolutely.
But he's a great guest for our first guest ever, and we're excited to have him on. So Victor and I have been friends for quite a long time.
Long time. That's a lot of math. Don't do that math.
Yes, we're not great with math, but we met at Wizard World Chicago in what year was that?
2003.
Okay, so
Who all was alive in 2003? Okay, like 6 people. 6 people in the room were alive back then. All right, so we're old. I think that's what that means. I got
yes,
you.
yes, but since then we've both been through a lot in the comic book industry. The separate journeys, separate but parallel in a lot of ways, and we're happy to be able to work together on this trip to Rabat. So for all you out there watching online, we're actually coming to you live from Rabat, Morocco, in North Africa, for those of you who don't know where Rabat is.
And just to prove that that's where we are, can you guys make some noise for us one more time? So there's no doubt we got a room full of folks here.
Right.
Absolutely.
And we are promoting a comic that we did for the Minister of Culture called The Lions of the Atlas, which is about the Moroccan national team, the soccer or football team, and it celebrates their...
Put that up if you got it.
It celebrates their run that they had in the World Cup in 2022.
That's right.
They made it to the Final Four or the semifinals, and that's quite an accomplishment for the Moroccan nation. It's better than the U.S. team's ever done.
That is also true. Also true. No shade. No shade. I mean, these are the facts.
It's the truth. The U.S. women do well, but
yes.
the men have never been that far.
No.
We were really happy to do it. We had art in there by Sean Chen, who's also a great friend of ours.
Very talented man.
Sean's here. Sean, you want to stand up and take a bow?
Yay! Make some noise for Sean.
There you go, Sean.
Yes, indeed.
And it has features a beautiful cover by Bernard Chang.
That's right.
Today, it was published in French and in Arabic.
That's right.
It was created in English, though that version, I think, is only going to be available digitally,
Really?
As far as I know.
Oh,
But
that's cool.
I have to find out, so
Okay.
I'm not sure. But we've been signing a ton of them today, and we're having a great time. We got a nice team here with us, and we're capping off the day with this live podcast. So we're waiting for Mark Millar to join us. Where's he calling in from?
So I believe he is in his home in Scotland. He could be in London, but I want to say he's in Scotland, Glasgow, Scotland, because that's where he's from. He's a Scottish writer, very, very popular, very, very prominent, one of the most successful writers in comics today. His hand has been on so many different wonderful stories, so many different characters, from Swamp Thing to The Authority. He's written Superman. There's a brilliant revision of Superman called Superman Red Sun, where the idea is that he landed in Russia instead of the United States, and what that would do to his characterization. It's a wonderful story, was made into an animated movie, absolutely brilliant. He's worked for Marvel, so he pinned a ton of things, including the Ultimates from the Ultimate line, which is really the basis for the MCU. How many of you guys like the MCU? You like the Avengers?
The Marvel
Cinematic
Cinematic
Universe. Mark Millar is kind of the architect of that. The movie Civil War is based off of the comic book series Civil War that he wrote. So many wonderful things. And then on top of all that, he launches his own imprint called Millarworld, where he's got some of the biggest projects ever coming out with a deal with Netflix to translate most of them into movies and or series on Netflix.
Basically, he's an executive producer now for Netflix, and he's creating a whole universe of just stuff that he wrote.
Absolutely.
Which is unbelievable for a guy who got his start as a comic book writer.
Yeah.
So, that's he's a huge success story in the industry.
Absolutely.
What's the time in London? Is it?
So London, I think, is an hour back from us.
Okay, it's not.
But I want to say in Scotland, it's about we're in the same time zone.
Well, that's great.
So, yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So
We had one of our buddies, Bob Layton, who is a comic book legend. His I think that's even his email handle or something. Comic book legend.
It absolutely should be.
But we had him. He called in from South Korea.
Oh wow!
And it was like 3 a.m. when he came on.
Wow.
So
we're planning on giving you content from all over the world through this series. Mark's going to be in Scotland. We've got some guys that are coming from California in the United States. Some folks on the East Coast of the United States. Daryl Banks is going to be where I'm from, which is Columbus, Ohio. So
nice.
It's going to be super fun to see all these different creators over the next couple of days having some great conversations about making comics and their impact. So we're going to talk about all kinds of cool stuff. Absolutely. Now, before we get started talking with Mark, I want to get started by chatting with you. What is the next project that you're working on right now?
With me? Oh,
Yeah,
I thought you were talking to the fan
you,
in the front.
No, you. What's the next project you're working on?
I was like, her? Okay, yeah, let's ask. The next project I'm working on is a project that I'm doing with our. I don't know if you know Matteo Stanzani.
I know of, yes.
Matteo was on the first team that came to Casablanca. He's an animation director.
Nice.
And this is a project that we're doing for Marvel, and we're doing some trading cards. I'm designing and printing 20 trading cards. So
he's in there.
Hey,
he's there right there.
Mark, how are you?
Very well. Sorry about this. It's your computer says we'll do these upgrades. Click yes, and I always click no. So I have to grab my wife's computer. I'm using hers instead.
No, we appreciate you tuning in, man. Now, for those of you that can see behind Mark is a wonderful collection of his work that we were just talking about. So he's got so many different things for so many different readerships. Mark, how are you doing today?
Actually, very good. My wife and I had a spa day today. Where you go and get a massage and all that kind of stuff. So it was awesome. I want to do more of this.
I like how you have a spa day and you didn't invite me up. That's all right, though. I'm not mad about it. I'm just saying, next time I want to come with you.
We have
it's not too late. Jump in a cab. We can have a couple of drinks, head down to the spa.
Yes.
We have a spa in the hotel that does a Moroccan scrub. Or
some sort of scrub. So we might have to try that out while we're here. Absolutely.
Yes. I hear it's quite painful, so not looking forward to it.
It might be. I don't know. So, Mark, we've got you for a few minutes, so we want to jump right into chatting it up. Right now, you have such a prolific catalog through the Millarworld verse, but it's not where you started. You started with Marvel and DC books. Can you share with the audience here some of your first works that you remember and love still to this day?
Yeah, I started when I was maybe 13. I started sending material in at 13 and just getting rejected, which was fine, because it was great training. So, but some of those stories I came back and used again. So Superman Red Sun, for example, a story about Superman growing up in Russia instead of America. I pitched that to DC when I was 13. Oh, hang on, are we cutting out, guys? Can you hear me okay?
No, we got you.
Yeah, we hear you just fine.
We just have a slight delay, but you're good.
Gents, I don't know if our signal's there.
Uh-oh. Wait.
Can you hear me okay? Great.
Now you just froze. Can you hear us okay? Oh, we had him. Or he's just pranking us right now. I don't know.
Yeah, when I was 13, I think...
We got you back. Keep going.
I can hear you, but it's pretty bro. Yeah. It feels like I'm in space trying to get a message back.
A little bit, but it works out.
That sounds good. Yeah, so but it was really, I was 30 before I had my big break. I went into Marvel, and Marvel was in a crazy place at the time. But people don't realize. Well, people kind of forget.
Uh-oh. Is it from his side? I got it. Mark, we lost you for a second. You're back.
Okay, I'll be back.
You're back.
Do you know, next time I'll have to just come over. I'll have to come over and see you.
Just come on down.
We'd be more than happy to have you. The more the merrier, man.
Absolutely.
That would be great.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I was very lucky. I got into Marvel when nobody wanted to go there. Marvel was in bankruptcy, and I was cheap enough. I was perfect for the company because everyone else had gone, and I just had a ball. I had the best 10 years when I was working at Marvel.
That's awesome. Some of the work that you did at Marvel, one of my favorite projects of yours is Civil War, and we were explaining how prolific it is. You've had a conversation once or twice that with Civil War, it's still one of Marvel's highest rated books to this day, almost 20 years later. How do you feel about that?
It's funny because it's still Marvel's biggest selling graphic novel in history, which I love. I love the idea of that, you know. So even though I haven't worked at Marvel, I've been gone doing my own thing in Hollywood for years. I kind of love that mine is still the biggest selling one. If somebody ever breaks my record, I'm going to go back and beat them. So, you know, that's my plan.
That is the most Mark Millar thing to do. Is like, how very dare you beat my record? I'm going to come back and I'm going to write something else that's just going to be amazing. I love that. Considering, though, that you have left Marvel and DC behind to start Millarworld, what has been some of your favorite projects to work on under that imprint? I bet he says the next one.
Even if I'm 95 years old, I'm doing it.
He's back. All right, let's see if this works. We'll only hold you for like another 10 minutes or so, Mark, just so any signal issues we get out of the way. Darren, did you have a question that you want to do before we start asking the audience for anything?
Yes. I hear that you have quite a reputation for predicting the future of the industry in some ways. So we would like to pick your brain because we've been asked here at this show, where is the industry heading in the next 3 to 5 years, especially with the advent of AI and also with the distribution system changing so rapidly. Even the Hollywood part is quickly turning into streaming, and you would be the man to ask about that. So our whole panel of artists that we have here with us in Rabat, Morocco.
Yes.
You know, we're all talking about if we're going to still have jobs in the comic industry in 5 years, or, you know, should we be learning how to be an electrician or a plumber, you know? So where do you see things in the next 3 to 5 years?
Can I just say my best prediction ever was 5 years before the Batman movie came out, I said Robert Pattinson would make an awesome Bruce Wayne.
You know,
I've just got to say that's my best one. I need to boast about that. You know,
was he the Harry Potter Robert Pattinson, or was he the Twilight?
It was after that.
It was even after that. It's when he was the David Cronenberg version of himself. You know, he was the kind of cool indie guy. And so I'm just saying I've got a good track record.
Yes, you do.
What I would say is going to happen is I think the industry moves in cycles, and sometimes it moves in small cycles, and sometimes there's huge cycles as well. And I think the newsstand lasted around about 40 years, and it kind of existed for a while afterwards. Another 10 years, it was still there. But by 1980, really, the direct market had completely taken over. And I think what we're in just now is we've seen a terrible shrinking of the direct market. You know, so the direct market had a very, very solid 40 years, but the sales on the books in America, on American monthly books, shrunk so much that the price of the comics just kept going up and up and up to the point where you have to be rich to buy all the titles, most people would want to buy, So, I mean, you're talking $4.99 now for a monthly book, which is incredibly expensive when a graphic novel, especially a manga graphic novel, is like $10, So, which is 140 pages or whatever. So I think things are going to change. I think we're about to enter a new 40-year cycle. I think we're going into a new big thing. And nobody's cracked it yet. Nobody knows what it is. It may be digital. That hasn't worked so far, but it worked so well in Japan that I think someone will do it better than Comixology did it. There'll be a better version of it.
Like a vertical scrolling or something a little different.
The thing about technology is it always finds a way, it's like we can't quite anticipate what's even going to happen in 6 months with technology, so like the tablet is the perfect size for reading a comic book on, we couldn't have anticipated that 15 years ago, when digital was first being talked about. So I think direct to consumer is very interesting as well, this model where you speak to the creator directly and he prints it and sends it straight to you and everything. So I think everybody's trying. It's a bit like evolution, when there was all these things happened before Homo sapien. There was a whole bunch of different animals that could have been us, and then we were the ones that got through. So somebody's going to crack it. I want it to be me. I want to be the guy who cracks it, but somebody's going to crack it, and I can't wait to see what it is.
I love it. I think it's great to be optimistic about what the future has, because even though things might be changing right now, it doesn't have to be the end. And I think that's also the hard part for so many people to embrace, is that the thing that you've known for 40 years, even if it ends, doesn't mean that it's all the way over. It's just that process might need to change. And I think that's the most exciting part looking forward from my end, as a writer especially. I'm like, no, let's figure out what the next thing is going to be, and let's run towards that.
Well,
yes.
Speaking of the next thing, let's talk about what project are you excited about right now that maybe you'd like to promote or talk about, or just give us a heads up that something's coming, or maybe give us some teaser info, something cool.
Spoilers. We want all the spoilers.
I love doing. I love talking about my own stuff. It's my favorite thing, So like, there's nothing I enjoy more than doing comic books. Like I sold my company to Netflix in 2017. And then they offered me this job to come in-house and create all this new material and everything, they wanted, tons more franchises than they bought. And I said, I'm only doing it if I can still do some as comics, at least half of them as comic books as well. And they were like, we're not going to pay you any extra, you'll be doing this for free. And I was like, I don't care, to me, comics is the ultimate art form. Nothing makes me happier than getting an email from an artist with a new page. I was into this when I was 4 years old, right? So now I'm in my 50s. I still love it. I can't imagine my life without it, So I've got 5 new books coming out, which is crazy, So like, I took 6 months where I was just, working in the background, doing different things. So I have like Nemesis, which is a big series we've been doing, which we're getting back to Netflix in live action in August. Warner Brothers have had it for 7 years. We're going to get it back, and we really want to do a movie of this as well. But the comic of Nemesis, next one is going to be out in July. Then I have the sequel to Prodigy, the final part of Magic Order, final part of Jupiter's Legacy, and the next volume of Nightclub. So tons of stuff. So much. I don't want to bore everybody with all the details of it. Just go onto my website, check it out. Hopefully you guys enjoy it.
Millarworld.com, y'all. That's the place to be. I can tell you right now, the thing that I am looking forward to, it's marked on my calendar, the finality of Jupiter's Legacy. I've been following this one from the beginning, and I love the historic twist and turn and commentary that it's made on comics. Is it going to end that way, where it's a bit more of a commentary on the art form itself?
The final volume, I started this like 12 years ago. It's ridiculous,
Wow.
But the final volume is easily my favorite. This is the one I've been building to the whole time. It's the secret behind all the superheroes, where mankind came from, the secret of the human race, the origin of the universe, everything all in one story. So I feel it's my favorite thing personally that I've ever done. So I can't wait. The show, works in some ways, didn't work in others and everything, but I'm really gonna give it a couple of years to rest and then come back and maybe do them as movies or something like that, because I really love the project. I really love it.
I can't believe that Victor just asked you how it ends.
No, I said I wanted spoilers, okay? I said that, okay?
He's trying to save $5. No, because it costs $4.99 now, you're trying to save
Listen,
$5.
I will send money ahead to you to find out exactly what I need to do to get that inside track. Consider it done. It's already
Listen, you know
bought.
what? I've got them all. I've got them all actually on PDFs. Do you want me to send you a sneak preview a few months early? I'll send you them tonight.
Awesome.
Right, cool, I'll fire
I'm
them over
sorry.
you.
I'm a professional. Yes, I would love that. Thank you. That would be great.
You have to promise you're not going to sell them at the show. You can't sell
I
them.
would never. I would never. But I'll let people see them for $1. But no, I would never.
We could check them out when we get back from the mega store.
Exactly. We found out there's
How's
a Virgin
the
Mega
show
store.
going,
here.
guys? It looks amazing. Is the show great? Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic.
yes.
Well, I'll have
Yeah.
to send some pictures of the space that we're in. You would love it. I think next time maybe we can have like a Millarworld version that's representing. I
It's
think
like
that'd be
it's
fantastic.
like as nice as any DC or Marvel booth has ever been at any San Diego Comic-Con.
Yes.
They really did a beautiful job
Yes,
here
they
for
did.
us.
Yeah.
Well,
Make
do you
some
know
noise,
that part
y'all.
of the world? That part of the world is really special to me. I go there once or twice a year. Once or
Yes.
twice a year.
That's right.
You know, my family and I go on holiday out here, you know, so like I was in Oman a few months ago, and I was in Dubai shortly before that, you know,
Nice.
and I was swimming in the sea, and I came up with an idea for a Superman story, you know, and I took a 12-week window in my contract because I really want to do this Superman story, you know, so there's something inspiring about that part of the world that's amazing. I think it feels the way America maybe felt 100 years ago, you know, when it felt new and all the big buildings are getting built. It's really cool.
Yeah, there's definitely an energy here, and
Yeah.
we're enjoying it. And the food is so good. We've been here 3 days,
Yes.
and we've gained like 5 pounds
At
each.
least.
you know?
At least.
It's
At least.
very
I love
good.
it. I love it. I think we might have time for one or two audience questions. If we have anyone bold enough, does anyone want to ask a question? We do have some folks. Can we take a microphone to them?
Could you turn the camera around towards the audience for a second?
Yeah.
Can I
There we
see
go.
the audience for 1 second?
Coming in just a second. 3, 2.
We have one question
Yeah.
over here.
Go. Hello.
Ask you guys a personal question.
Okay.
I want to ask you, like, what's your favorite country and why?
What's your favorite country?
Yeah.
Okay, Mark, I'm going to have you answer that one first before we answer because, I mean, you're safe no matter what your answer is because you're virtual.
My favorite country? I'm so lucky that my job takes me all over the world.
True.
And I meet so many great people, you know, like the best time I've had anywhere, I think, is maybe Manila in the Philippines.
Okay.
You know, it was awesome, and I say that because we did a 10-hour signing session. Like there was 10 hours signing books, and people all came dressed up as the characters and everything, and it was just such a fun week. I did 5 days, I think, signing copies of books there, and the food was fantastic as well. But listen, I like everywhere. Any country I don't like. Because I'm Scottish, I should say England. You know.
That's fair. So I'm partial to the U.S. because I actually haven't traveled outside of the country much. This is my first intercontinental trip, so Morocco is really ranking high for me right now in
Top
terms of
3
countries,
for sure.
like literally top 3 for sure. Because just the sheer beauty, the food, the music, the smells. Oh my goodness! I don't know how y'all get anything done. I just would sit around just relaxing all the time if I had to live here, and I might like to live here. So yes, Morocco is winning right now in my book. So thank you.
Morocco's very high for me too. I'd say not counting the U.S. because that's where we're from.
Right,
so,
right.
So it used to be. I think it has a lot to do with how young and energetic you might feel.
Right.
If you're in your 20s, like I was when I went to Bangkok, Thailand.
Oh, nice.
You might really love Bangkok and Thailand and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Korea is beautiful and great. Mexico, depends if you go to the beach or where you go in the country.
Right.
But before I came to Morocco, the friendliest people I ever met were in Thailand. But since I've been to Morocco, I'd have to say Morocco has the friendliest people.
Absolutely.
Outside of New York City,
There
of
you go.
course.
Yes.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
but
I'm kidding.
give
about
yourself
that.
some love for that, man. You guys have made us feel so welcome. I absolutely adore it. So I think we're about at our time. So I want to thank Mark. Mark, thank you so very much for tuning in, man. You already know I've got big love for you and can't wait for all your next coming works. We're super excited for all these projects that are coming out. Big shout out to Dark Horse, you coming home with the Netflix crew, and all the wonderful new projects from Netflix that are coming out. Can't wait. Thank you so very much, man.
And thank you very much for asking me. Lovely to meet everyone, even virtually. Hopefully, we can do it in the flesh one day.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, if you're serious, we will we'll invite you to the next ones for
Absolutely.
sure. So, it was
Guys,
a
help
pleasure.
us say thanks to Mark Millar.
Thank you, guys.
Mark, so very much.
Thank you, bye.
It was awesome.
It's a pleasure. Take care.
Absolutely. So,
Yeah.
Darren, this is episode 1 in the bag, sir. This was awesome. And, I mean, we set the bar kind of high.
Yeah, but I think we can meet it.
I think we can meet it.
We
I
can
think
meet
we
it.
can.
We
Absolutely.
had a great guest. We had a great audience, and the energy was good. So I look forward to seeing what happens tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So we could stay after we close and take a couple of questions if anybody has any questions, because we're not just going to run out of here, but. We're happy to sign a couple more books, and then we'll hit the road.
Absolutely.
But thank you guys for sticking around.
Absolutely,
I really
guys.
appreciate it.
One more time for Darren Sanchez.
And for
Yay!
Victor Dandridge,
Hey!
ladies and gentlemen. And this is After Hours, or Comics After Hours.
That's
So
right.
thank you for being a part of our first show.
Big shout out to our crew for helping record everything. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Man, look. They don't even know who I am yet, right? But they gotta learn. They gotta learn. 5528. I'm spotted. Got lots of spots. Your girl wanna come play connect the dots.